Started Mangalasam. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुं श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामी इति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवी गौरवाणी उच्चारणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारणे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नामने गौरातिसे नमः हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी कृष्णानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण Very good. Okay, I think we'll start with revision. Okay. So last week we did 2.42, 2.43, and 2.44. Right. So in 2.42 and 2.43, Lord says that. I'll read the Bhagavad. Men of small knowledge are very much attached to the flowery words of the Vedas, which recommend various fruitive activities for elevation to heavenly planets, resultant good birth, power, and so forth. Being desirous of sense gratification and opulent life, they say that there is nothing more than this. So we discussed last time about the flowery language, right? So what is the flowery language? Remember? किसी को? Flowery language? Hmm? मतलब that is extension of that, but what exactly is flowery language? Flattery, right? Like sweet talk, sugar coated words. Like sugar coated word means मीठा मीठा बोलना है वैसे बेवकूफ बनाने के लिए जैसे कहे मुकुंद तुमसे अच्छा तो आज तक लड़का पैदा ही नहीं हुआ ठीक है यू आर द बेस्ट वी आर द बेस्ट बॉय इन द वर्ल्ड एंड यू लाइक वाओ आई एम द बेस्ट पर्सन राइट एंड you become puffed up right you become so like oh what is Duryodhan be a Satan right so exactly so what it is said in this word like those flowery words from the Vedas they recommend kriya vises. Kriya vises means karm kand. Right. If you do this yajna, if you do this puja, if you do this vrat, you will have this result. Right. And people, what happened, like they think that okay, this is everything because it is recommended in Veda. So I have to follow only this much and that's it. I am getting good result because those are true. That happens. If it is done properly under guidance or not guidance, but yeah, under guidance of the proper pujari who knows the ritual, you will get the result. Or anyone who is doing, they will get the result. So they think that is it. We don't need to do anything. After doing this, we'll get the good karma, we'll get the good deeds, and we'll go to the heaven. We will enjoy more. Right? That's what they think. That is life, and they got stuck into that. So what Krishna is saying that the people who are um, yeah, the people who stick to that language of Veda, right, and they speak about it, and they desire for Bhog and Aswari. Bhog and Aswari means Bhog means enjoyment, right? Material enjoyment, and Ashwarya means material opulence. So they think that is all for Vedas. To be implemented. That's it. Right. They think that is all you need. Mukund aa gaya. If you are okay. So they think like that is all for the Vedas, and they get stuck into those flowery language and yeah, enjoyment and opulence that they are getting by doing all those karm kand, and they get stuck to that for lifelong. And there's nothing more than that. That's what they think. Right. So we saw that in Bhagavad Gita 2.37, Lord says that he told Arjuna at that point of time that you do this and you'll go to the heaven. Right. That's what he told. But here they is saying like only less intelligent people desire of going to heaven. So we saw why there is a contradiction. Why there was contradiction? Anyone know? Actually, we cannot say whether Arjun was at that level of understanding or not. Arjun was always understanding, but Bhagavad Gita is not for Arjun just. It is for us. So, because Lord was talking about Karma Kand that time. So, because by doing Karma Kand, you get the result like going to the heavenly planet. So, he was talking about that. You do your prescribed duty and then you will get heaven. You'll get more enjoyment, material opulence and material enjoyment. That's why we're talking. But here, now he is taking things more further from the material platform to transcendental platform. And that's where he is talking about only less intelligent people think that going to heaven is everything. Because what they don't know, after heaven also they'll have to again come back on earth and start from zero. Well, how do we go to heaven? Anyone remembers the credits and debits of karma? What is that? Good karma, bad karma, but how do you go to heaven? You have more pious side activities, you have more good karma, you'll go to heaven, right? Exhaust your credit there, enjoy for long time, maybe 10,001 also, 1 year extra for you, right? And then again you'll fall down, come back to earth, and then again you start from zero, or maybe below earth you will go if because you have the debit side also, right? The bad karma are also there. So maybe from heaven, either you'll come on earth or you'll go to, or you means we all of us. I'm not talking about anyone particular. Then we'll go to all the hellish planet and then pay for whatever bad things we have done in this world and then again come back. When we exhaust everything, then again we'll come back and start from zero. Right. So that is less intelligent. That is less intelligent thing to do. Right. Again, getting stuck in the cycle. It's like someone is working in a toxic company. The a company, not company is toxic really. The team is very toxic. It's very problematic. But what they do whole week, like there are a lot of startups like that by the way. Right, whole week they will like 16, 18 hours of work, 24 by 7 availability and all this. On Friday night, booze party. And then people think this is life. Work like an ass, enjoy like an ass. I don't know whether ass is enjoy. Ass में डंकी. छोड़ दो यार तुम. Office parties where a lot of enjoyment will be there. Your time will come. Right. So that's what that is our life also, right? We think like okay, we'll do all this thing in our whole life, then we'll get all the good karma, we'll go and enjoy, and then again in next life, the same those 5 days from Monday to Friday, same thing will happen. Right. So that's how they think like this is the life. So, because Lord is in 2.43, 2.44, he was talking on transcendental platform. So he told like now he's taking the step forward. Like only less intelligent people think that going to heaven, enjoying material opulence or material enjoyment is everything. Then we discuss flowery language. What is flowery language? बताइए तो, what is flowery language? आपके आने से पहले we discuss. Even we discussed before last week. Last week you were there. You are not there. So what is flowery language? Exactly. Sugar coated language, right? It is sarma क्यों रहते? That's okay, you know. Don't be hesitant. Listening only mode. Huh? Then Srila Prabhupada writes here, people in general are not very intelligent, and due to their ignorance, they are most attached to the fruitive activities and recommend karma kanda. We just discussed it. So men with poor fund of knowledge think that this is the whole process of Vedic wisdom. As fools are attached to the flowers of poisonous tree without knowing the results of such attraction, unenlightened men are similarly attracted by such heavenly opulence and sense enjoyment thereof. So Srila Prabhupada here compared this kind of mentality or this kind of cycle, like do good karma, go to heaven, exhaust, come back, do good karma, go to heaven, and then cycle repeat. This kind of mentality as a poisonous tree. Like we had the example of that. It looks very sweet, it looks very attractive, but it's not good for us. Right? So those all material enjoyment, it's like this is life, right? I'm getting enough money, I'm having great family, I'm doing something, right? Enjoying life, अच्छी company है. What more do we want? Right? That's like a poisonous fruit. It looks very attractive. You may enjoy it also for some time, but long term effect, like eating after eating this, maybe it's very sweet also. But after 2 minutes, when it is start giving the effect, or 5 minutes, we are hospital literally. Right. So it is like poisonous fruit. That's what it is mentioned. So if if like all the kind are like poisonous, it's not all the kind of this type of mentality. If these are all kind of leads to that kind of life, where people get stuck, then why all the Vedas are full with the kind of uh, around 70% of the Vedas actually are having a lot of kanda, puja, path, and those activities of Devi, Devata, Devi, Devata, different. Right. So why is that? Hmm. So that we have faith. Slowly we can go ahead, and not everyone will directly. So you go to someone on the road and say, "Take this mala and chant, and you'll be liberated." They'll say, "Why?" Not people will start just like doing that. They don't have the faith. Even we don't have that kind of faith. That's why our chanting is not attentive. Right. So that faith is missing for us. But if you ask, at least we know there is something in chanting. We may not have experienced it, but yes, we know. We follow the parampara. But if a newcomer, you say, take this and your life, all problem will be solved. He said, it is already solved. I don't have any problem. Why should I do that? Because they are stuck into that. So kind of what they do, slowly, gradually, they progress them into spiritual path. They'll realize, okay, I'm doing this, oh, I'm getting the result. That means whatever is written is true. Let me try some more. And when we start trying, slowly they will develop faith. And from Karm Kanda, they will go to Upasana Kanda, Gyan Kanda. Right. And because once the faith develops on the Shastra, you'll believe whatever is written. Any question? So, yeah. So, we already discussed this. So, poisonous fruit is like, why poisonous fruit? Because we get stuck into that and we waste our whole human life, which is like as having a Mercedes and plowing a field, right? Using a Mercedes for great cause, agriculture, right? So it is like that. The human life is extremely rare. And if we waste for again material enjoyment, which even dogs and cats and hogs can do, they do more, way better than us, right? They do in a much better way, more enjoyment, and more times. Right. And we think like, yes, Mathav. We have human life. Yes. Yes. Or somewhere your soul did good karma and now exhaust you. Maybe one Devi, now you are here after enjoying your Devi period. It could be like that. Or you maybe one criminal, now you are coming back from the hellish planet. It could be anything. Or you may be someone who was human in previous life. And because something was not fulfilled, you were somewhere stuck. You were getting into Krishna concept, but he could not complete it, like Lord says that. Then you'll get again chance to get human life at least. You could be anything. But then it is extremely rare, right? 84 lakh yonis. It is just 84 lakh species. Think one species, how many souls would be there? And that is just Earth. Think of the millions of multiverses. Infinite. Well, we cannot even think of that number. That it is that huge. And in that, how many are human? Hmm? Yeah. In your stomach, 200, 300 millions of bacteria are there. We are not alone. Yeah. This body is not just us. It has 200, 300 millions of souls in it. Right. 8 crore people. 8 crore, 8 Arab. Right. कितना हुआ? 8 billion people. 8 billion people. Right. Take like 100 guys and that's equal to 8 billion people plus some change. Like that. Right. So, yeah, huge number of species. It is extremely rare. But if we waste for again doing the same thing, not going out, what is the purpose of human life, then it is like this. And that's why it is compared to the poisonous fruit. Because we are trying to settle for something lower. And we discussed that even in this earth, some are very eager to have the somrasa to become strong, fit to enjoy some sense gratification. Such person have no faith in liberation from material bondage. They think like this is it, right? This is the life. Why should I do all those other things? So it is compared to like it is understood that there are garden called Nandan Kanan, in which great opportunity to associate with angelic beautiful women and having a profuse supply of somras. So do good karma, enjoy all those things, and that's what. Right. And yeah, um, one example we saw this. Did you ask Papa what does that धन हानि की धन हानि रुक जाएगी और इनकम बढ़ेगी? हाँ वो हटा दिया बोले because this is summary. You don't want another class for that. That's why. ठीक. So people are stuck like every morning they will see okay आज कौन सा कलर पहनना है आज क्या what do I need to eat today what color should I wear today so that I will have all the good benefits in life. So it is like getting stuck, and most of the people like this. But the problem, what we have to understand, the thing, the concept which we have to understand that the goal of this life is not to settle here, not to solve the problem in our life. So why do they do? Ki, okay, I have this problem. If I wear this anguti, then my this problem will be solved. Or I will do this puja, that then my problem will be solved. The point is that we are not here to solve the problem. If we try to do that, one problem solved, 10 problem will come. It's never ending cycle. Right? It is never going to end. Can someone say that their lives all problems are solved? Is there anyone? Huh? कोई नहीं है, right? Because we know we solve one problem, next day another problem comes, and that is life. And then we think like, oh, this is life, ups and downs. But why? Why there are ups and downs? That we don't think. We become compromised. Life तो ऐसी होती है ना ups and downs कि बिना life कैसी? And then we just carry on life like that. But if we try to understand why these ups and downs, what is the way to go out of this ups and downs? Right, there are right. If there is something, there is always a cause, and there is always a solution for it. But we just stuck to the event and we don't go for the cause and the solution and try to solve one problem at a time. Okay. So the goal of life is not to solve the problem in this world or settle here, but use this human body, get out of all the problems forever. That is the goal of life. And that should be done. Right. And then in 2.44, we discussed that. Balport said that in the minds of those who are too attached to sense enjoyment and material opulence, Bhogeshwar, and who are bewildered by such things, the resolute determination for devotional service of the Supreme Lord does not take place. So here it was talked about samadhi. Samadhi means fixed mind, right? So, in the minds of those who are like too much associated with I want to enjoy Bhog and Aswar, what happened? Their intelligence gets kidnapped by Bhog and Aswar. And their fixed mind, they cannot have the fixed mind. And because they cannot have fixed mind, um, they cannot actually achieve the full benefit or potential of Krishna consciousness. Right. So those type of people even starting like we're discussing the point of why we get distracted so easily. But the advanced devotee they don't. So the advanced devotee thing came. Then what is the measure of advanced devotee? Anyone remembers? What was the measure of? How can we say someone is advanced devotee, someone is not? That is though. That's why actually we get fooled. That's the biggest way of getting, especially in our community, like Hindu community, Sanatan community. That's how people make fool by external appearance. Yes, lifestyle you have to watch for a long time, but just by appearance you cannot judge anyone. Huh. So by sorry. Single point focus, but how will you know someone has single point focus? Like I gave example. I'm sitting outside and I'm closing my eyes and I'm doing chanting. Someone who is walking there, oh, what a great devotee. He is doing chanting with eyes closed, full concentration. और मेरे दिमाग में चल रहा है रत्नदीप से ये लाना है, ऑफिस में ये करना है, ठीक है, आज ये क्लास, अब उसके बाद ये काम, टू डू लिस्ट चल रही दिमाग में. It is not single point focus. So outside you cannot see, you cannot judge anyone, or you cannot understand what is going in their mind. But how you can understand that? How will you judge in their mind? Judge, jury, and executioner. How? How can we judge? Like, yes, you have to watch them. By external appearance, you cannot. You have to watch them for some time. So, one way, like Mataji you said, is correct. Right? Not externally, but see their lifestyle. Right? And then, in the hard time, how they behave. Very important, right? Are they actually, if someone is fixed in Krishna consciousness, someone is fixed in bhakti, in hard time, they are not like, Bhagwan, mere saath hi kyun? Bas, that's it. आज नो माला ऐसा नहीं होता है राइट दे आर फिक्स्ड में दे आर फिक्स्ड वॉट एवर कम्स देयर वे if they have to follow the four regulative principles, if they have to do the 16 round, they will do no matter what. चाहे जन्माष्टमी हो सुबह से सेवा करनी हो चाहे कम, they will take out time and do that. ठीक सुबह उठना है मुझे माला खत्म करनी है, they will wake up in the morning and finish up. So one way to judge it like by seeing their lifestyle and seeing advanced devotee are ready to take the risk. Right. Ready to take the risk that if they will judge the situation, what is coming on their way. Right. Is it actually, uh, if I take that step, if I take that risk towards my bhakti or towards my life, is it going to give me more progress in Krishna consciousness or more progress in bhakti or not? They are ready to take the risk. While the one who is not advanced, the newcomers like us, we may not be able to take that risk. We are still attached to, okay, my job, my family, my life, my thing is more. While they are like, okay, it's okay, Krishna is there, right? They have full faith, he will take care. Let me take a step forward. Because there's a saying, right? You take one step forward towards Krishna, he will take 10 steps. But we don't have faith. The problem is we don't believe that he will take 10 steps. So we don't take our step also. So yeah, that is the measure of advanced devotee. He will be ready to leave a lot of things for Krishna. It doesn't mean he will leave the life, family, job, and everything. But yes, if situation comes, he will judge accordingly. What is good for my bhakti or not. And can I survive in same salary? Can I survive in a little lesser salary? But getting good progress in my bhakti. He will judge those conditions. Or am I going to some company where it is going to be screwed? Literally. So yeah. So that is the risk. Like Arjuna, he left the Narayani Sena for Krishna. Just one person. If someone think like Krishna is just a person, right? You are getting one person delivering crores of the Sena. Like Prahlad Maharaj, he got his father killed. It is not said. It's not him who got killed actually, but yeah, in a way it is. Right? A situation was like that. Ki people will say ki because of Prahlad Maharaj only Hiranyakasipu, his father was killed. But he was not worried about it. So then we discussed how to have the focused mind. But before that we discussed who will not have the focused mind. Anyone remember? Who will not have the focused mind? The answer was in the previous verse. In both verses actually. One common word. Bhogaswar. Right, Bhogaswar. Someone who is too much attached to Bhog and Aswarya of this material world, they will never have resolute mind. They will never have fixed mind. Because always their mind will be thinking, how can I get more money? How can I get more enjoyment? Try to find new ways of doing that. So they will not have fixed mind on bhakti. They will not have fixed mind for Krishna or their spiritual program. They'll always be thinking about that. And that's why they cannot have the focused mind. So how can someone have focused mind? So when the mind is fixed for understanding the self, it is said to be in samadhi. Understanding the self means about the soul. Who am I? What is my, who is God? What is my relationship with God? And then if someone actually understands this, that's it. They don't need to understand anything else. Because once you understand this, you'll find the way. You'll find the solution. Then what shall I do? Right. So, by endeavoring to understand ourselves or to endeavor on the path of spirituality, to understand the higher purpose of life and marching towards it, that should be the goal of life. That is breaking the cycle of birth and death. And so, when we start understanding the higher aspect of life and soul, we'll start automatically working towards the our progress. And Bhog Aswar will slowly, gradually, uh, it will be taken out of our life. So, yeah. Question to you. Okay. So, and what is the easiest way to do in Kali Yuga? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. So not by chant, not just by chanting, chanting, listening to Krishna Katha, Hari Katha, right? Um, and doing attentive chanting. We'll have in the today's last session we'll have some more about that. Right. So doing all those things when we try to put our life around Hari, around Krishna, right? Slowly things will start falling into like puzzle, right? The pieces start falling into places. It will start falling into places. You have desire, things will move automatically. It will happen. You have desire to serve more, Krishna will make the way. Same 24 hours, you will suddenly start finding time. Huh? From where the time came. And then you will realize why it is happening. It does not mean use the time to Netflix and chill. Right? It means Krishna is giving time to utilize it. Right? So I remember when like we had this session and that so Maharaj, Swami Bhagavan Keshav Maharaj says that people say that we don't have time. Everyone has 24 hours only. Why people don't have time? Why people think they don't have time or because what they do, the time what they had, they utilize in such a bad way that why Krishna would work for giving them more time. First, you have to pass the test utilizing that time in a proper way, then he will start arranging it. But you are not utilizing now itself, then why Krishna will give you more time? He will not. It's like you are already wasting. Why should I give you more to waste? Someone who is giving 10 rupees and you like they are taking to do some cigarette. I think now it is also costlier than 10 rupees. Right. Then why would you give it 10 more? You will not. Right. But if you think I'm giving them 10 rupees and this guy bought some, say, let's say I'm talking a material example here, right? This guy bought some biscuit and now he's feeding someone poor on the way. Then maybe next time you'll give him 20 rupees. Because now you know you're doing it for a good cause, not for something bad. So Krishna is also, our time is also like that. If we don't utilize the time which we have right now, forget that you are going to give up more time in your life. But if we start utilizing the time which is given to us, Krishna will make sure we are going to get more time. We don't have to do any endeavor. We don't have to do any work for that. He will make sure it will happen somewhere. It will start falling. into place. Right? So, and slowly that's how we can get the focused mind. Right? So, we'll go with today's exact 30 minutes for revision. Every time it is like that. Alright. So, we'll have 2.45. Very important session today, actually. Okay, repeat after me. त्रैगुण्य विषया वेदा निस्त्रैगुण्यो भवार्जुन निर्द्वन्द्वो नित्यसत्त्वस्थो निर्योगक्षेम आत्मवान् त्रैगुण्य विषया वेदा निस्त्रैगुण्यो भवार्जुन निर्द्वन्द्वो नित्यसत्त्वस्थो निर्योगक्षेम आत्मवान् त्रैगुण्य विषया वेदा निस्त्रैगुण्यो भवार्जुन निर्द्वन्द्वो नित्यसत्त्वस्थो निर्योगक्षेम आत्मवान् त्रैगुण्य विषया वेदा निस्त्रैगुण्यो भवार्जुन निर्द्वन्द्वो नित्यसत्त्वस्थो निर्योगक्षेम आत्मवान् Translation by Divine Graces in Bhaktivedanta Srila Prabhupada teacher. The Vedas deal mainly with the subject of the three modes of material nature. O Arjuna, become transcendental to these three modes. Be free from all dualities and from all anxieties for gain and safety, and be established in the self. So, what Lord Krishna is saying that the Vedas, what they mainly deal with, we discussed like Vedas, the major part of Vedas is Karma Kanda. That's what Lord is also here is saying. It mainly deals with the three modes of material nature, right? And what he is recommending to Arjuna, now that he is on the transcendental platform, he is saying to Arjuna, see beyond those three modes, come out of those three modes. And how you can do that? Like when you become free from, like he's instructing, be free from all the dualities and all the anxieties for gain and safety. These all are coming from the previous verses only. He has already told about all those things. What are the dualities? Dvand. We discussed about that, right? Dvand. What are the dualities? Anyone remembers? Bhagavad Gita 2.7? No, that is the three modes of material. Dualities. Dual matlab two. What are dualities? Hani nuksan, sukh dukh, happiness, distress, samsitosh. Right. Exactly. So those all kind of things. Duality means two sides of coin, we can say. Right. So he told in Bhagavad Gita 2.7 about this, and even on that whole section he talked about, Krishna talked about all those things. And he told that come out of dualities and the anxiety of what will I gain, what will I lose, that kind of mentality. And start searching for or working for yourself. Self means your soul. Then you will become free. Let's discuss in detail about that. So guna means what? Anyone knows what is the meaning of guna? लिटरल मीनिंग हाँ मतलब कैरेक्टर नहीं होता उसका मतलब बट नियर बाई क्वालिटीज मोर ऑफ अ क्वालिटीज बट हाँ बट गुना लिटरली मीन्स वन थिंग इन संस्कृत एनीवन नोस वो तो इंग्लिश है दैट्स अ ट्रांसलेशन ऑफ दैट संस्कृत में गुना मीन्स नहीं वो तो गुणा हाँ वो एक अलग से मल्टीप्लाई इज नॉट दैट नहीं गुणा मीन्स रोप स्ट्रिंग रोप हाँ रस्सी Guna means rasi. In Sanskrit it means that. So, three types of gunas are there, right? Everyone knows that. What are those? Sattvagun, Rajgun and Tamogun. Right. Sattvagun is Just a quick, I would not say recap, but yeah, just a quick introduction. Satguru, mode of goodness, which is characterized by light and wisdom, peaceful and pure knowledge, compassion, harmony, and balance. It mainly deals with those. Then comes passion, desire and activity. I have a lot of desire. Someone has a lot of desire and activity. They are very active because it is driven by those desire and activity. Again, the some things which defines it: greed and ambition. They are always restless and driven by some focused thing, and they are attached, and there is some craving for that. I have some craving for some kind of food. Right. So that is desire. And then there is the third one is ignorance, tamas, which is like driven by the darkness and delusion. And it contains like laziness, neglect, fear, apathy, confusion, and despair. Yes, that's a good. It's a horror class today. Where he'll come out. Right. So three modes of knowledge, and whatever in our life, we discussed that in one of the special sessions that everything in the world is actually in one like driven by or uh, guided by these three modes of nature. Even all of our activity is also driven by these three modes of nature. Everything we do, not one, maybe one and more combination of it. Right. So it is driven by those. So it can be one more of a goodness, less of a passion, more of a passion, or just goodness, just passion. Could be any of the combination. Uh, so the goodness it is defined by like someone would be determined. They'll be very selfless, and they will have the habits which are more of a sattvic in nature. The passion it will be like they'll be more attached to the result. You can see that they have desire and activity, so they are more attached to the results, and they think like, what is in it for me? Always thinking like, I will do something because I'll gain of it, out of it, the result part of it, and they are like pendulum, always extreme. Uh, like if there is something which makes them happy, they'll become very happy. But if there is something which makes them distressed or sad, they'll become very sad, completely depressed. So those people are like who are majorly into religious mode. They work like this. Their life is like that. And ignorance is ignorant. क्या करना है क्यों चलो छोड़ो यार कल करेंगे वो कल कभी नहीं आता वो कल भी नहीं आता so we see a lot of people who are like, why man? छोड़ो ना अच्छी करते लाइफ चला. Chill bro. Like that. Exactly. So they are like that. So all the time they'll be lazy, they'll be in pramad, madness. Right. So why rope? We all would have seen this photo, right? So these three mode of nature, they actually run the show. They drive all our whole life, our whole activities. Like someone pulls the string, we'll do something. Others pull the string. Like we just dance like a puppet. Uh, because the modes are controlling. They think like everyone thinks that they are free. We think right, we are free. We have free will. We are free to do everything. But are we really free? How can you say we are free or not? We are attached to the result. Okay. What else? But what it has to do with the free? You still have free will, right? But are you free when you are doing something? You are attached to the result. Let's say you say, I will not worry about the result. But then, are you free in doing your action? It's more about action part, not about the result part. Think it that way. So, someone said, I'll do whatever I want. Means like I'm free. But are they? If yes, then why? If no, then why not? What do you think? Are people free? Why? Who has stopped us doing anything? करते भी हम अपने तरीके से ही नहीं रिजल्ट तो कोई और देगा ना मतलब एग्जाम तो हमें लिखना है रिजल्ट तो कोई और ही देगा जैसे हमें लिखना है वैसे लिखेंगे कोई हमसे आके लिखवा तो देगा नहीं राइट So let's understand the example. There's a person every Friday night. The party you asked, this is the party, right? Which word was it? That is the word. Now you got it? Oh, so that's the party being talked about. Every Friday night, he goes out with the team. Maybe take the same example from the startup, and then you know, माहौल खूब जमेगा रंग जम्मिल बैठेंगे तीन यार आप मैं और no I don't know if anyone remembers that ad or not किसी को याद है नहीं हाँ केवल माता जी को याद है और किसी को भी नहीं मुझे भी याद है तो हाँ जो सुने याद रहेगा ऑफ कोर्स राइट सनी देओल आता था एड में आई रिमेम्बर दैट आल्सो सो so what do you think like they go to the party what do you think they're exercising their free will क्या लगता है आप लोग को are they exercising this person is exercising their free will this is a very important concept to actually understand so think tell anything what do you think स्ट्रेस की वजह से सोच रहे हैं कि मैं कुछ के बाद ठीक रहूं no, but he himself thought he himself did it why it is not free will अगर किसी ने जबरदस्ती से उसको पिलाया नहीं भाई पी लो आज तो तुम्हारा स्ट्रेस गया नहीं मैं नहीं पीऊंगा ये लो हाँ ये भी नहीं ये तो नहीं एटलीस्ट ऑफिस पार्टी में तो नहीं होगा क्योंकि वहाँ बहुत लोग देखने वाले हैं हाँ मतलब they can convince they can coerce into doing that but they will not open the mouth and that happens only in movies so what else like what else do you think are they exercising their free will they are how they are exercising how उनका पीने का मन है तो पी रहे ओके what else ये ना बहुत स्लिपरी स्लोप है ठीक कि जो भी लाइफ में कुछ गलत हो मतलब या जो भी गलत हम करें और फिर देन ब्लेम आउट बैड कर्मा जाके किसी को एक झापड़ मारे ठीक है बैड कर्मा ऑफ मी यू नो आई डिड नॉट डू ऑल माय बैड कर्मा आई एम नॉट दिस आई एम ड्रिवन बाय दिस मोड ऑफ नेचर हाँ that's what I said this हाँ exactly he told all those things he told putting excuse on bad karma, God. Like once I was talking to someone. My father was also there, and the same topic came and same thing happened. कि हम जो भी करते हैं ठीक है वो तो सब भगवान ही करा रहे हैं. He only guides us to do all the things. I said then we should close all the courts. Rapist will come and say I did not do anything. It was God who made me do that. Then why are you giving me punishment? It should be God. Close all the courts, close all the police stations, put it everything on the God. So that's a very slippery slope. No, it is our free will when we do that. Huh? That's what terrorists can also say after bump for the parliament and they're saying, I didn't do that. Allah, He made me do it. Huh? So we all are liars, some way or the other. We have to just deeply think. Some are more lying, some are less lying. It's about the conviction. They are convinced about that. Some good thing actually we can learn the conviction, the faith part of it. For that conviction, they can even give their life. We don't have that much conviction that we can do like attentive chanting also, and someone ready to give them. So we can take the good qualities, think about that. But yeah, I'm not glorifying them by the way. Just a disclaimer. We don't have that kind of conviction. Right. So they have the free will. They are exercising the free will. But once they exercise their their free will becomes limited. The concept is that if we exercise our free will in the lower gunas, that is rajas and tamas, our free will becomes limited. So what happened? Starting they took one glass of okay, one glass only, right? Because लोग क्या कहेंगे ऑफिस में सब पी रहे हैं तो just to mix up become mingle and not to feel odd one out. Let me have one. But the moment they take one glass, they are out. Now they won't be controlled by their free will. Now they will be controlled by the three modes of nature. The mode, especially the Rajas and Tamas. Because they are ignorant. And now whatever happened, it will be driven by that mode. So the more ठीक है next ठीक है the more you place yourself in higher guna the more you will have free will. This is a very important concept to understand, right? If we actually want to have more free will, we have to do activities also in the higher gunas, not at the lower, because if we do activities from the lower side, lower guna, we are never going to have free will. Think, like I can give you some example how you can understand that. Think of two countries. One country is uh, one country is ruled by complete democracy where people elect the leader, people are happy, they have the right to recall. Right, if some leader is not working, they think like they is brushed, they will recall them. Everything will go smoothly, they'll be all okay because now they will have more free will. Against some country where there is a dictator, how much free will the people or citizens of that country will have? Right. So it is something, think of that like that. When we actually work on the lower gunas, rajas and tamas, it is like we are one who is ruled by the dictators. We don't have much free will to do things. It is whatever they say, we will do. If we will not do, we will be thrown out in jail or killed, executed, whatever. Like happening in a lot of countries these days. हाँ, जहाँ भी तुम बोल रहे हो। ठीक मुझे समझ में नहीं आया what you said, but but again the people when they try to live the sattvic life, they try to live the goodness in the goodness, they will have more free will, they can do a lot of free things. So that is something very important to understand. When you have more free will, you can make better decisions in life and more decisions. Yes, mother. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So think of the example of the alcoholic. One glass he took. First of all, his consciousness goes down, right? His ability to understand things clearly goes down. He took two more. It goes more down. After three, four glasses, it's like hey, I'm not in my control at all. Zero free will. Now, if someone gives him one bottle, also he will drink. He cannot stop it because even though he knows that he knew that it is not good for me, right? I don't have any money to go by Uber. But because he has put himself into that situation, getting more and more into that, now he cannot exercise his free will. It is all driven by that bottle. Not really the bottle, but mode. The Rajas and Tamas mode. Right. And that's what we have seen in, like, we all would have seen some friends, right? In colleges, they have a lot of problems, the girlfriend, boyfriend problems. And it all comes out after one pack. Well, my roommates were all like that. The moment they had one bottle and that's it, they are all over the place. ठीक जितने भी प्रॉब्लम रोना धोना उल्टी करना ठीक सारी दुनिया की प्रॉब्लम्स उनके सामने आ जाती थी they were all like that. So because that time they are not controlled. Before that they tried to control it. They never said or anything like that because they have not surrendered their free will. So they could control this thing. But once under influence of alcohol, that's it. Control lost. And they blabbered out everything, whatever they had in mind. Right. That's the example how you can understand. Yes, Manthan. Exactly. Yes, yes. You have more free will in your life, right? Your free will expands when you do in the Sattva good. You can make better decisions in life, right? Than when you are doing in other place. Any other question? So that's one thing which we have to remember. We want more free will, we have to work on the higher platform. Right? So I give a summary of it. Um, so Satguna, what does it do? Right. Satguna, it does eliminating, frees one from all sinful reaction. Right. Gives sense of happiness and knowledge. Everything becomes pure, clear. You start thinking more clearly, more logical. So decision making in Satguna is like you think very deeply about that. When okay, just a question. When Arjun was giving all those five reasons not to fight, which mood do you think he was in? When he said that I will not fight, which mood he was in? Satguna, Rajoguna, or Tamoguna? Ignorance? अच्छा और सत्व प्लस तम अब एक ट्रिपल मिक्सचर बचा तो आप रजो तो वो एक ट्रिपल भी बचा है ऑल थ्री बॉर्बन राइट so Arjuna was actually Satyaguru when he said that. Why? We just discussed. When you do things in Satyaguru, you actually think deeply. Who can think that if I will fight, right? If I will fight, what all things will happen? That I will be killing my own relative, right? I will have sinful reaction. The family tradition will get lost. The elder will die, the family traditions will get lost. There will be people who will take advantage of those situations because there are no male in the family, right? And they will take advantage, and that will lead to illicit relationship, and then world Sankar population, and because of that, all the rituals will get lost slowly. There will be no one to do Pindadan, and the whole world will be going into more sinful way. Who will think that deeply? That was Sattvagun. Only people in Sattvagun they take the thing deeply. What the people in other gunas do? Tamas gun what he will do? अरे यार फाइट क्या है ठीक है करो नहीं करेंगे यार छोड़ो फाइट वाइट नहीं करना है अब आराम से बैठे थे चुपचाप बैठे दो दो रोटी मिल रही थी ना दैट इज व्हाट I don't want half of the kingdom or full of the kingdom. That's it. I can manage. I don't need anything else. That's like a lazy ignorant. I don't want to do anything. Right? Because he's not able to take any decision at all. He's that lazy that why should I do that? Right? Then Raja would, अरे ऐसे कैसे? Bring it, आज सबको कर जैसे भीम जी कभी कभी, right? भीम जी कभी कहता है, just kill them all, ठीक है? So they're like hasty decisions. Quickly they want to do. Just अभी करो अभी खत्म करते हैं. That's matter solved. Right? They're always in that mode. Hurry. Right? Take hasty decision, finish it off, get it done. Driven by their desires. But when someone take decision in Sattvagun, they think deeply about it. If I am doing this, what would be the ramifications? Why I am doing this? What could it cause in the end? Arjuna was thinking in the Sattvagun. Right? Not in Rajagun, not in Tamogun. Because he thought very deeply, if he is going to do the fight, what all things will happen? Yes, Mataji. We'll come to that also. Then there is something more than sattva. When so what Lord says that three modes of it. Oh Arjuna, become transcendental to these three modes. It's not the end. Three modes are not the end. So that's what we'll discuss after that. Right. So yeah. So Rajas, what does it do? Okay. We did not, I think, completed the Satyagun. It is supportive of our consciousness and spiritual journey. You take better decision, you will take the decision which will make your progress better in the spiritual journey, and healthier on physical, mental, and spiritual level also. Right? When someone in Rajas, born of unlimited desires and longings, I want this, I want this, I want this also, I want that also. They'll be like that. They are more worried about result. I will do this only if I gain. I will not do this if I'm not getting anything. This is it. Greed, probe, envy, wanting to change the world, that kind of things which drives them. Abhi, ek minute. Think looking out and being agitated of things rather than looking within and being peaceful. They always try to solve the problem immediately. कि कार लड़ गई, मार दो, हो गया, problem solved. या उसका पर्स छीन लो, problem solved. Right? They will not try to think कि what better thing we can do. So passion is all about endeavor, movement, and excessive desires. And what Tamas do? Mode of darkness, born of ignorance. They are delusional, right? White, always lazy. Result in madness, indolence, and sleep, which binds conditioned soul. And stagnant mode with degrades and deliberate. So someone who is lazy in office also we can see that. Someone who is lazy, mode of ignorance, they are never get promoted. Even the people who actually do a lot of buttering of their bosses, right? They are also do it in rajas, in the mode of passion, because they want the result. They don't do. They are not inactive people, but there are in office some inactive people are there. They are like कि जो हो रहा है होने दो, जब तक जीवन चल रहा है चलने दो. So they are driven by the mode of tamas, mode of ignorance. So they'll be either stagnant or their whole progress will be degraded. The first one will be thrown out of company in layoff in a team. It will be those people first. Because वो है नहीं है कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता for the team. So no achievement, disconnection from the world. That's what to feel. Any question here? हाँ तुम्हारा दो क्वेश्चन करो. Indolence and sleep. Indolence मतलब not able to take any decision, like being very कैसे कहें, decisionless भी, yes you can say, or very dull, like नहीं करना है कुछ भी नहीं. हाँ, boring. Indolence think of it as very boring. Like probe नहीं, actually probe है वो. किसको probe करो तो probe मतलब provoke someone. हाँ, गुस्सा दिला दो, किसी को poke करो. ठीक, कोई अच्छे से बैठा हुआ है और तुम जाके उसको गुदगुदी लगाओ बार बार, कहीं मना कर रहा है, इज लाइक डोंट डू दिस एंड यू अगेन डोंट डू दिस, क्या करेगा वो? दैट्स व्हाट यू आर प्रोबिंग दैट. सो एनी अदर क्वेश्चन?
They impact our subtle body, like किस level पे वो
They impact your whole thing. They impact your gross body. They impact. So we saw that healthier on physical, mental, and the spiritual level. So if someone is in Sattva, they will eat only good things. Obviously their body will be better. Their gross body is getting benefited. They are doing good things. They are doing good karma. Their mentality will also be better. It will progress. So on the subtle body level also it will affect. So gross body, subtle body, it will affect both. So these gunas drive our both types of bodies.
soul उसका
Soul is pure. Soul is soul. See, soul is covered by these three. क्या कहते हैं, subtle body element, and then covered by those gross body element. Soul itself is Satchidanand, right? Soul does not have these kind of things. It is those consciousness surrounding the soul, our desires, our mentality, our subtle body, which actually drives us to do these things. It's not soul. Soul always seeks happiness, nothing else. So soul, it is not a soul thing. It is a more of a subtle body thing. But it certainly impacts our gross body also. How right? Okay. So now that you know about Sattva-guna, Rajguna, and Tamoguna, which mode do you think you are in? Rajaguna, driven by the passion. What do you want to achieve now? तीनों में अभी आप किस मोड में? 12 बजने में 15 मिनट का. Okay, तो अभी आप सतोगुण में. Okay, but in general, if you think like what mode you are in, I'm not talking about time to time. In general, someone you have to define. I want to define myself. What mode should I define myself in? रजोत्तम. ठीक है, मतलब अच्छी बात है कि लोग यहाँ काफी क्लियर है. That's a good thing. Right. So it's not like we are always in we are in one mode. So like we have three primary colors, and those colors mix to make different colors. right? Like you are saying, red and blue mix up to make the pink or purple, whatever you see. I say pink. What do you see? Huh? Magenta. Very good. That's why boys stay with pink and purple. माताजी magenta and C से एक और कुछ होता है. Cyan color or whatever it's called. Uh, so they are more color conscious. Right. We are less color conscious. So, uh, so like that. So our life is also defined by these modes, mixing of these modes. Some of this, some of that. Right. So like those colors mix up, they make all those colors, like 81 billion color, whatever infinite number of colors are actually made by mixing of that. So these three modes are also like three primary colors, but they mix in some certain amount to make us who we are. Right. So we are not. We can never say someone is always in one good. Matlab, it's extremely rare someone would be. Maybe very enlightened people. They will be always in something good. But everyone is like we say, time to time. Why time to time? Because we have the mixture. आप जब भुजिया ऑल इन वन नमकीन खाते हो, ठीक तो कभी कभी किशमिश आता है, कभी कुछ आता है. If you are taking one by one, so it keeps on coming. So that's our life also. Mix up all these three gunas. Right. So, what Srila Prabhupada says that we'll read the purport. All material activities involve action and reaction in the three modes of material nature. They are meant for fruitive result, which cause bondage in the material world. Very important to know that. These all modes cause bondage in the material world. Which one does not cause bondage in this material world out of these three? Sattva? It's calm, I'm talking about modes of nature, not other. All three cause bondage? How? रजोगुण करेंगे जरूरी है, आप धरती पे ही रहेंगे, आप कहीं भी हो सकते हैं. So passionate working for the people. I'm so passionate doing samaj seva. I will also go to heaven. Or I'm so passionate to beat people. Left and right. आज रास्ते में चार लोगों ने मारा, आज के दिन अच्छा नहीं. Right, like that. I'll go to hellish planet. So, huh. Well, that's how you're right. That's the reason. Even Satogud also bites. That those all cause bondage. So the Vedas deal mostly fruitive activities to gradually elevate the general public from the field of sense gratification to opposition on the transcendental way. We already discussed that. But important point, Arjuna as a student and friend of Lord Krishna is advised to raise himself to the transcendental position of Vedanta philosophy, where in the beginning there is a Brahma Jigyasa, or questions on the supreme transcendent. So we talked about the three modes of nature. All three cause bondage. And Karma Kanda section of the Vedas deals with these three modes only. But they elevate. Slowly they take us to the Sattva. Good. Yeah, any question, nothing? Okay. So slowly they take us to the Sattva good. So why Vedas have Karma Kanda, we already discussed. Right. Not everyone is at the same platform. Slowly for their elevation it is done. Now, Srila Prabhupada further writes that as long as the material body exists, there are actions and reactions in the material world. Right. So we'll always be influenced by modes. Correct. All the time. Whatever we do will be influenced by mode. What are we supposed to do then? What are we supposed to do in that case? Any answer? Anything? कैसे? That is the question. What are we supposed to do? ये तो perfect answer है. Perfect question, perfect answer. That's what it is. सही जा रहे हो. तुम्हें क्लास ले रही थी ना? Next time. Hmm. So what are we supposed to do? use of buddhi. So Srila Prabhupada here writes that when the activities of for sense gratification, namely the karma kanda chapter, are finished, then the chance of spiritual realization is offered in the form of Upanishad. He is saying in terms of the Vedic scripture. When someone finishes the Vedas, right, now they know all the karma kanda, they're like, "Hey, this is the cycle. Do this, do this, get this." They get frustrated. But I'm still, the cycle remains. Like a rat is running on that wheel and always keeps on remaining, running on that wheel. Right. So after some times, they also feel like this is like happening again and again and again. Do having this problem, doing this, coming back to that again. Next problem, doing this, coming back to that again. Then they start finding for the self-realization, and then they move to Upanishads. And we are also reading one Upanishad. Which one? Gita Upanishad. Bhagavad Gita is also an Upanishad, right? Biggest of all, actually, which is part of different Vedas. And as the Bhagavad Gita is part of the fifth, as the Bhagavad Gita is part of the fifth Veda, namely the Mahabharata. So Upanishad mark the beginning of the transcendental life. When we start reading Bhagavad Gita, understanding the concept of it, then we, or actually the real spiritual life will start. So coming back to the question, what should we do? What are we supposed to do? Any answer? Prabhuji can't come out of these three words, but how? Fixed mind. Fixed mind you can only have when you do this prerequisite. Until you do the prerequisite, which is the answer, you will not have fixed mind. So, for reaching fixed mind, you have to do that. And actually, we discussed just a few minutes back what we have to do. That is the verse. मात्र बहुत ऊपर का लेवल है, बहुत ऊपर का लेवल. You are right. It's a very higher level. Surrender इतना easy नहीं है. हाँ, मतलब exactly duality से बाहर निकले. Don't get over excited when we get something very good, or don't get very sad, depressed when we get something bad. Become at least balanced. समभाव, समाधि नहीं मतलब समभाव. उसको स्थिर प्रज्ञ भी बोलते हैं. It will come in. It will come in the chapter later on. Right. So Krishna says in 2.14 that, O son of Kunti, the non-permanent appearance of happiness and distress and their disappearance in due course are like appearance and disappearance of winter and summer season. Some Sitoshna Sundrita. This is the verse which we are discussing. Matra Sparsa Konte. Right. Um, Correct. They arise from sense perception, O scion of Bharata. Though, and one must learn to tolerate them without being disturbed. So what we have to do? Become somehow and tolerate these two things. And that's the solution given here also. Right. In this verse. Nirdvandvo. Nirdvandvo means come out of the duality. The duality of life. Sukh, dukh, gain, loss. Right. Come out of that. And Niryogakshema. Niryogakshema मतलब लाभ and हानि. Exactly. ठीक. Niryogakshema मतलब लाभ and हानि. Become free from the anxiety of the gain and safety. That is Niryogakshema. That is the solution. That's how we can actually, that's what we are supposed to do. But is it easy? It's not, right? It will come by practice only. So Krishna says that, come out of that and fight to Arjuna. Right? And to us also, fight with our desires of these desires, Yogakshema desire and the Dvandva desire. Fight with those desires, and then slowly we'll come out of it. Now, in the same verse, like going forward, it is also talked about, right, Trigunya Visaya Veda. Right. The Vedas are dealing with these three types of modes of material nature. And this Trigunya Bhavarjuna. Lord is saying that become free from these three, become transcendental, or go above these three modes of material nature. Right. Now, how can we do that? How can we go beyond the three modes of material nature? So, there is something which is above these three modes. We understood what are the three modes, and all three modes are binding. Correct? Then what shall we do? Go beyond the three modes. And what is that? That is called Suddha Sattva. So the point we are discussing connect to the Krishna. Right. It is the Suddha Sattva. What, like an example we can have, someone is in Sattva means they want to have very clean house. Always it should be clean. But is that having a clean house goal of life? No, right. My goal of life is to have the perfect clean house. Wow, what a goal. Right. The goal of life is to, yes, you do the house, you do have the clean house and use the clean house for doing some spiritual activity. Then it will become Suddha Sattva. Right. Someone likes to do Samaj Seva, let's say. गरीबों को हमें खाना खिलाना है. Right. I feel very content and satisfied when I feed some poor people. Connect Krishna in that. It will become Suddha Sattva. हाँ भोग लगा के खिलाइए. It will become Suddha Sattva. Because now you are having Krishna at the center of your activity. Then it will become Suddha Sattva. So Suddha Sattva is goodness plus spirituality. That will become the Suddha Sattva. And that is the mode which is beyond the three mode. So what Krishna is trying to tell Arjuna, come beyond those modes and think in the platform of Suddha Sattva. सो आपका जो पॉइंट था अभी किसका क्वेश्चन था अर्जुन वाला आपका क्वेश्चन था राइट सो यस अर्जुना वाज थिंकिंग ऑन द प्लेटफॉर्म ऑफ गुडनेस बट दैट he was still at the material platform what Krishna is saying come out of that material platform of sattva and come to the transcendental platform of Suddha Sattva means I am at center Krishna at the center and when Krishna at the center that means follow my instruction
पृथ्वी को प्राप्त हुई तो कहलाओगे कि ये गति से प्राप्त हुए और अगर बताते तो तो इस चीज के लिए मत सोचो कि मैं ये फाइट कर रहा हूँ तो इसका क्या होगा
उससे वो धीरे धीरे आगे बढ़ा रहे थे वी डिस्कस दैट आपके आने से जस्ट पहले ठीक कि वो कर्म कांड वाला एक्टिविटी था ये करोगे तो ये मिलेगा वो करोगे तो वो मिलेगा इट वाज लाइक दैट डू दिस यू विल गेट दैट if you'll kill people you'll win you'll get the kingdom if you'll die you'll get the heaven but now Krishna is taking one level up he is taking on the spiritual platform not on the material platform that's where he's saying come above these three modes of gain and loss so gain ही तो है you'll get heavenly planet that is gain right he's saying don't think about that come above that and think of the Suddha Sattva like being Krishna at the center as a path so pure goodness is that and we're talking about the decision कि what decision someone does that or from the result of the karma also we can understand the same thing so you got some result let's say someone uh, take an example of an exam someone did some study they gave the exam and then they failed how would a person in ignorant or ignorance will react कैसे ignorant आदमी react करेगा हाँ पापा के पास पैसा ही ठीक है वन मोर सेमेस्टर फी और क्या और बैकलॉग ठीक है देखा जाएगा दैट्स हाउ विल रिएक्ट करेक्ट हाउ विल अ पर्सन इन तमस विल रिएक्ट मुझे फेल कर दिया मतलब इतना पढ़ाई किया था मैंने हाँ पेपर ऐसा आया था ठीक है किसी ने ऐसा पेपर सेट किया क्या है क्लास में पढ़ाया एबीसीडी और पूछे एक्स वाई जी हाउ कैन आई आंसर राइट सो दैट्स हाउ विल रिएक्ट इम्पल्सिवली right? Blaming others, not getting the result, thinking of the loss, right? How a person in sattva will react? I don't know. ये तमोगुण है कि सत्व है? Okay, that's very confusing. How he will react? Interesting. I will think probably I did not do enough work. Right, I should have learned more than that's right. How a person in Suddha Sattva will think?
कि एक साल और मुझे ग्रो करना है, फिर से ठीक से
maybe something better than that is written. Right, you're right. So uh, he will try to take lesson from the situation. Actually, जो सत्व में बोला वो शुद्ध सत्व में भी हो सकता है. Right. But when you connect to the God, it becomes Suddha Sattva. Like Sattva person thought कि okay, शायद मैंने मेहनत नहीं की, ठीक इसलिए नहीं हुआ. That's what he's thinking. और ठीक है, अब हुआ, maybe it is better for me. Right. But the person is Suddha Sattva thing, कि maybe Krishna wanted me to learn some lesson out of it. That's why he did this to me. Right. Or I want to anything because we discussed that and we know that all the results which we get in our life is to teach us something. So he will try to take a lesson from that. That is the platform of Suddha Sattva. Ki what is in it for me? If I got failed, say I worked hard, right? Still I got failed, then there is something for me. And what lesson should I take from that? Right. That's the platform of Suddha Sattva. So, yes, Madhu.
वो है ना सत्व मोड के लिए think कि अरे मेरे साथ ऐसा क्यों किया इन्होंने. And then we again go into a Suddha Sattva कि okay, शायद भगवान मेरे से चाहते थे कि I should learn some lesson from. But then how should we react to that person again? जैसे अर्जुना को बोला कि you fight, you forget about everything, but you fight and keep me in center.
Megha को एक problem है. Megha had some issue with someone. So, in one of the lecture, Radheshyam Prabhu told that you being a Vaishnava or trying to practicing being a Vaishnava, you should have relation with people in four ways. Like four types of like people you should have relationship with, or in four different ways. One are those people they're like in your life they're like okay, you'll respect. So being a Vaishnava, you should have compassion, respect for everyone. It goes without saying. It is non-negotiable, right? So one is like you have your relationship with them, and you're like, okay, I know that person, I respect them, and that's it. Okay, I don't have much dealing with them. That's fine. Second level people, uh, you are associating with them, and for some time you are with them, you discuss things with them. Then there'll be a third type of person where you become more open up, close associate of your right. You will open your heart and take things to like talk about them. And then there are four type of people whom you will ask for guidance also, right? So based on your relationship with that person, you should know how much how much understanding, how much actually how much close you need to keep that person with you. You don't keep everyone, so you don't open your heart to everyone like that. It's very important. Don't open your heart with everyone because you never know where it will be misused. Right. So someone who is harming you, you need to decide how much actually relationship you have to keep with that person. If that is again coming to the Suddha Sattva point, if that is causing problem in your life, if that is causing harm in your bhakti, better to keep it very limited. Just have the daily with. A lot of people in our society you don't keep with the same relationship, right? Just hi, hello, क्या हाल चाल है, ठीक है, बढ़िया, okay, bye. You can have that. Nothing changes, Mataji. We had like in our colleges, in our college we had a group of 15 people. Like I told you one time, right? 200 and 300 meter walk. It used to take us 3 hours. We are that close. After college, everyone went somewhere. Nowadays, like साल भर में एक बार कभी किसी को फोन कर लिया, वो भी नहीं किया. Doesn't matter. Out of mind, out of sight. So someone asked Srila Prabhupada once कि कि महाराज स्वामी यू मेरे गृहस्था कि कभी आपको अपने मतलब बच्चों की और वाइफ की याद आती है क्या? सो ही टोल्ड वन थिंग, आउट ऑफ साइट आउट ऑफ माइंड. ठीक. आप थोड़े दिन किसी से दूर रहो, यू विल स्टार्ट फॉरगेटिंग देम. आपका माइंड सोचना बंद कर देगा. इट्स ए रियलिटी. ठीक. चाहे आपके कितने भी क्लोज हो, those all friends are very close to me still. Well, a lot of friends are in touch with me. आप खुद अपना एग्जांपल देख लो कॉलेज में. हाउ मेनी पीपल योर बेस्ट फ्रेंड सर्कल, हाउ मेनी पीपल यू आर एक्चुअली in touch with now? Or for how long? You can keep, nothing will change actually. Literally nothing will change. Even if you keep your relationship with them very limited. Right? So, but you have to decide. You are the best judge of it. No one else can do that. क्योंकि लोग तो कहेंगे ना, और आप करोगे तो लोग आके कहेंगे ही. But you have to decide what is better for you, not for the other person. Should you for the sake of your relationship, because it's a 20-year-old, should you compromise with your bhakti, with your spiritual progress? Something to ponder. Right. What will help?
जो भी तुम्हारे साथ गलत करता है, तो बहुत ज्यादा मतलब कंपैशनेट हो तो भी कि अरे ठीक है, कर दिया तो कर दिया, कोई बात नहीं, भगवान देखेंगे।
अगर आपके साथ गलत करता कोई बार बार कर रहा है, because you are close to that person, right?
तो मतलब आई ट्राई टू कि ठीक है, उसने जो किया वो उसके कर्म, भगवान विल टेक केयर ऑफ इट। आई डोंट नीड टू
Actually, आप जब उस level पे पहुंच जाते हो, that is the best thing. You will not worry about it. That is what we are nirdvandvo. That is what it is. That's fine. That's what we have to reach, right? कर रहा है. But don't give them. That doesn't also mean don't you keep on giving them chance to do take your advantage, right? So don't give them chance also, because even though you are on the platform of nirdvandvo, ठीक है, on the non-duality, still it affects. It takes your time. At least 1 घंटे आप सोचोगे ना, you'll waste your time on that. Why to give them chance for that? Ignore, and slowly, gradually, out of sight, out of mind.
जवाब देना, शांति से क्यों जवाब दिया? एक्चुअली तो मुझे नहीं करना है, मुझे नहीं पढ़ना है सब।
You're going in the right direction then. That's good, right? Right. You don't have to become into Rajas good to do that. नहीं तो it will. See, the problem with Rajas good is actually I can tell you why, because I'm a little short-tempered guy. ठीक, आप लोगों को शायद नहीं लगता होगा, but I am. Right. So what happens with that? Say you went to some place and you had some argument with someone. Next 1-2 days you'll think I should have said like that. Right. मुझे ऐसे बोलना था, ऐसे जवाब देना था. Then only I could. You always think of winning the argument in the mood of like I should have won or like that. It's a complete waste of time. Complete 100%. Right. That is the problem with Rajas good. If you are not actually getting provoked or getting flowing into Rajas good, this is the best thing you are doing. Come out of it, you will have actually peaceful life. But when we try to get into that, ऐसे जवाब दे देते, वैसे जवाब दे देते, अगले 2-3 दिन आप जवाब ही सोचोगे. And you will not get any opportunity to give. Tell that thing. You know that, but still you will think about that jawab. That's the problem with the Rajas good. मतलब मुझे लगता है उससे बढ़िया तो होता बस अरे अरे छोड़ो यार जो हो गया they are better ठीक because they will not even think, right? So that's good thing about you do. But yeah, coming to the point, the Suddha Sattva people always try to take the lesson from what is happening, right? And that's what. So now the question, I'm in mood of goodness always. Someone say like, आप जाओगे तो कहो, आप कहोगे कि भगवत गीता पढ़ो, चैंटिंग करो. अरे मैं तो ऑलरेडी बहुत अच्छा इंसान हूँ. मैं ये करता हूँ, मैं गरीबों को खाना खिलाता हूँ, मैं इतना दान करता हूँ. Is it not good enough? You'll have the question. Why? Why it is not good enough? Because sattva cannot be binding. Sattva is also binding, not can be. It is also binding. Right? And it is not going to harm. It is not going to give you spiritual realization if it is not connected to God. So, like we discussed, the clean house example. Someone cleans the house, but they don't utilize it for, say, spiritual activity. And then what's the use? It's like just simple cleaning service. Then why, then if that is the case, then why there is a sattva? Then why people say do it in mode of goodness? मतलब heaven तो जाओगे. Okay. Ma- Rajas and tamas are not always बुरा, by the way. Right. नहीं, तमस तो फिर भी चलो छोड़ दे, but rajas is not always बुरा. It is impulsive. It is in mode of desire. ठीक है, getting quick results, but it is not always बुरा. So वो भी रजस के लोग भी ऐसा हो सकता है कि वो अच्छे काम ही करते हो. But then why Sattva? Why should we say go on the Sattva platform? What do you think? आप सत्व पे आप आध्यात्मिक पे नहीं है अभी हाँ बट जा सकेंगे यस ओके हाँ ओके व्हाट एल्स सत्व गिव्स पीस यस और एक और बचा है वो भी बता दो एंड एंड व्हाट मतलब व्हाट एल्स व्हाई शुड समवन गो टू सत्व प्लेटफॉर्म व्हाई नॉट डायरेक्टली गो टू शुद्ध सत्व एक्चुअली शुद्ध सत्व इज आल्सो सत्व विद गॉड so think of this as an example of this airport you have to go to Mumbai ये मुंबई एयरपोर्ट है ना Delhi airport okay I don't know ठीक say you are in Delhi you have to go to Mumbai how you can go to Mumbai say you have to go by flight how you can go to Mumbai you have to reach the airport right now you have to reach the airport then only you can catch the flight to go to Mumbai that airport is your Sattva hmm? Unless you reach the airport you cannot catch the flight and you cannot reach there so आप जो कह रहे हैं वही है चीज ठीक कि उसके बाद ही आप ऊपर जा सकते हो जैसे आप ह्यूमन बन के ही आप लिबरेट हो सकते हो सेम वे सो इट इज सत्य प्लेटफॉर्म कि एटलीस्ट वी हैव टू गो टू दैट प्लेटफॉर्म वेयर वी आर डूइंग थिंग्स इन sattvic mode our consciousness is getting into mode of goodness it is getting better we are eating better we are thinking better we are getting compassionate all those good things are happening at least there right but then we also have to realize कि being on that platform or just being stagnant on that platform is not enough. It is like someone reached the airport and they spent all the time in duty free shop. ठीक है फिर से तुम्हारे लेवल से ऊपर हो गया ड्यूटी फ्री शॉप मतलब एयरपोर्ट पे कभी गए हो राइट देयर लॉट ऑफ शॉप्स राइट हाँ देयर लॉट ऑफ शॉप्स एंड you went to airport to catch a flight for Delhi and then you started buying oh kurta this luggage this t-shirt and then you missed your flight. So if we remain on the platform of Sattva only, we'll miss our flight to Golok Vrindavan. We'll remain on that. And then again next life, the same. We'll go back to our home and take the taxi, Uber, 400 and जितना शायद कम हो गया 1000 rupees. We'll go back. हाँ वही. Then you have to rebook because it is cancelled. The driver said कहाँ जाना है? Airport. Need extra. What extra? Suddha Sattva. नहीं है. Cancelled. Book again. Right? That's how it is, right? Then book again, redirected for the next trial. Right? Because you did Suddha Sattva. Yes, Mother. Content. Pride also. Yes, absolutely. So that's the problem, right? This question come, isn't that enough? Is because I'm already doing so many good things. I have my satisfaction in my heart. I am fully content that I am doing something for the samaj, for the country, for the humankind, for this. Why should I do anything else? They become so content and a lot of times so much proud also. That is actually the binding part is because of all those things. Because of that satisfaction, contentment and the pride they get. अरे मैं तो ये करता हूँ. You don't know me. I do more CSR activity than that company itself. So they start thinking like that. That means they are bounded. They will get binded by this. And they cannot reach the platform of that. That's the problem with Sattva. You're right, Matan. Like, that is the problem. Right. So this life, this life is like given to us to become on the platform of Sattva and don't miss the flight. So go to the platform of Suddha Sattva. So that's what Bhagavad Gita also teaches us. Like go above the beyond of three modes of nature. That's what Krishna is teaching us. And a lot of time people say that आपके भी साथ मतलब बहुत इवन इन सम पीपल इन माय फैमिली आल्सो हाँ पढ़ लेंगे जब समय आएगा तो ठीक है मरने के टाइम पे पढ़ेंगे जब बूढ़े हो जाएंगे तब पढ़ेंगे विल रीड दो एट दैट टाइम but the problem is they don't understand Bhagavad Gita is not for the afterlife It is not the book to be read after death. Who can read? Or at a time of death, what you can do on the deathbed? What sattva? What Suddha Sattva? ठीक है वो पढ़ लो आप पूरा कर लो that itself would be enough. Right? It is just like a tick mark करना है. But this is the book of this life, not afterlife. Unless you read that, you understand the lessons out of it, what we have to do in this life, then what's the use of that then? If we do this, if we don't do this. So this is the book for this life, it is not a book for afterlife. But how to live life here when we are alive, when we are capable. Right? So someone said like I will do chanting when I have time, when I get old and all. What's the guarantee you are getting old? You are already billions, millions or billions year old. अभी भी नहीं realize हो रहा है, then what's guarantee you'll live 2 more days even? Forget about 2 more decades. There's no guarantee. Right? So this is for this life to understand that, not for the other life or next life. So any question? So we'll go to the next verse. We'll quickly complete it. यावानर्थ उदपाने सर्वतः संप्लुतोदके तावान् सर्वेषु वेदेषु ब्राह्मणस्य विजानतः यावानर्थ उदपाने सर्वतः संप्लुतोदके तावान् सर्वेषु वेदेषु ब्राह्मणस्य विजानतः. Anyone? Any problem? यावानर्थ उदपाने सर्वतः संप्लुतोदके तावान् सर्वेषु वेदेषु ब्राह्मणस्य विजानतः. Anyone? यावानर्थ उदपाने सर्वतः संप्लुतोदके तावान् सर्वेषु वेदेषु ब्राह्मणस्य विजानतः. The translation by His Divine Grace is Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada की जय. All purposes served by a small well can at once be served by a great reservoir of water. Similarly, all the purposes of the Vedas can be served by the one or two can be served to one who knows the purpose behind them. A little cryptic. But now, because Krishna was talking about the Vedas, so what it says that Yavanarth Udapani means all the purpose which is served by the well. So, गांव में जो कुएं होते well, the water well. Right. Sarvata Samplutodake are served by the large reservoir of body, the large body of water. Tavan Sarvesu Vedesu, similarly, all the purpose of the Vedas, Brahmanasya Vijanata, can be served to to that person, served to that person who knows the purpose behind them. Means all the purpose of Vedas can be served by the person by doing the some activity, one particular activity, who knows what is the purpose behind it. Now we'll see what are the activity. So we'll start with that Yavanarth Udapani. So in older times, in a if some villages have multiple say water wells, right? So one well will be used for drinking water, another well they'll be doing for washing clothes, another well will be for the pasu pakshi, well, for the animals and all. Right. All wells have different purpose that time. Correct. But when there is a big reservoir, say a big pond in the same village, what does it say that? What Krishna is saying that? The pond will serve the whole purpose. The purpose which is done by small, small wells, this can be done by one big pond itself. Right. Same way, Veda says that do a lot of activities, karma kanda, for gaining wealth, do the puja of say Lakshmi Devi. For removing obstacles, do the puja of Ganesh Ji. For any other thing, say You can do the puja of say Surya Dev, Agni Dev, or whatever, right? Different Devi Devta. Right? You can do all these things to gain something different. Because all have their different areas. Not no one can give you everything. But if you know there is someone who can give you everything, whatever you want, why not have that? So the large body of water can serve all the purpose. Same way, the supreme personality of God is someone who is above all those Devi Devta. He can give you whatever you deserve, whatever he wants. Someone who knows that, that's what Lord says there. Someone who knows that someone knows the purpose. They know what is the purpose of Vedas. They continue with that activity. Not different karmic activity, but one activity like serving the Lord directly. Any question? We'll discuss more. Like there are different kind activities. So someone who understood the purpose behind the Vedas will not jump from one Vedic activity to another to get this gain, that gain. But they will do one activity which serves all the purpose. Like big water pond serves all the purpose. One activity that is bhakti which serves all the purpose. Right? They will do just one thing. No confusion. No jumping from here to there. That is what Krishna says also. Right? It's not ISKCON what says that. It is Krishna who is saying that. Now it is talking about purpose of the Vedas. What is the purpose of the Vedas? To come out of this samsara and liberation. Okay, what else? What is the purpose of Vedas one? जीप निकालना. Okay, so what is the purpose of Vedas? Anything else? शुद्ध सत्व में ले जाना. Okay, okay, all right. What else?
Spiritual.
Ritual. Not spiritual. It's ritual. The ritual becomes spiritual when you add spirit to it. That's why it's called spiritual. Or you can also think that when you add SP, when you add Srila Prabhupada to it, it will become spiritual. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Right? So all the ritual becomes spiritual. But you have to add spirit to it. हाँ किसका क्या मतलब है? हाँ वेदों का क्या मतलब उनका पर्पस को हिंदी में क्या बोलते हैं उद्देश्य क्या है वेदों का उद्देश्य क्या है मेरी हिंदी बड़ी अच्छी हो गई है एंड आई एम फ्रॉम हिंदी मीडियम ग्रेट
हमने जो सांसारिक चीजें हैं उससे ऊपर उठाने का उद्देश्य है।
तो लिबरेट करने का उद्देश्य तीन गुणों से ऊपर उठने का उद्देश्य सांसारिक चीजों से ऊपर उठने का उद्देश्य व्हाट इज द पर्पस ऑफ वेदास थिंक डीप थिंक मोर दोज आर ऑल द प्रोसेस व्हाट इज द पर्पस व्हाट इज द एसेंस अगेन वो प्रोसेस है yes so again we'll take the purpose from Bhagavad Gita itself what Krishna says then सर्वस्य चाहम हृदय सन्निविष्टो सत्तः स्मृति ज्ञान ज्ञानम अपो ज्ञानम अपोहनम च वेदैश्च सर्वैर हम एव वेद्यो वेदांत कृत वेद विदेव च वेदैश्च सर्वैर अहम क्या है मैं इंग्लिश में पढ़ता हूँ हिंदी में मिल गया वेदैश्च सर्वैर अहम एव वेद्यो means I am seated in everyone's heart, and from me come remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. By all the Vedas, I am to be known. That is the purpose of the Vedas. By all the Vedas, I am to be known. Right. So, purpose of Vedas is to know Krishna. That is the only purpose. Everything else is the process to know Krishna. Unless you do the process, you cannot do that. But purpose, the ultimate goal is to know Krishna. Indeed, I am the compiler of Vedanta and I am the knower of the Vedas. Right. Very important to know. The purpose of Vedas is to know Krishna. Right. In the end, all the Vedas will tell you who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, what is the Brahman, what is the Krishna, who is Krishna. The Srila Prabhupada writes that the ritual sacrifices mentioned in the Karma Kanda division of the Vedic literature are meant to encourage gradual development of the self-realization. Now, what is self-realization? He explains further. In Bhagavad Gita 15.15, the purpose of studying the Vedas is to know the Lord Krishna, the primeval cause of everything. Self realization means understanding Krishna and one's eternal relationship with Krishna. Right. That is the self realization. So, what does Veda do? Slowly, they gradually progress or push people towards the self realization. And what happens in the self realization? To know Krishna and to understand the relationship of us with Krishna. That is what it does. Right. So, this picture is interesting. Someone asked, I forgot. So, this picture is here it is talking, right? Self realization with understanding Krishna. It's not easy to understand Krishna. Someone knows this Leela? No? कौन सी लीला है तुमको छोड़ के ब्रह्म विमोहन लीला anyone remembers? Actually दो बार तो क्लास में बता ही चुका हूँ. That I remember. So Brahma ji, when he came to know there is a boy and somebody told him कि Lord has taken birth on earth as a boy. His name is Krishna. He said, no, that is not possible. I know the Lord, ठीक है? He is my Aradhya Dev. I know what he does. There is not possible that without my knowledge he will do that. I am the creator of this universe. He tells like that, right? So said, no, he is taken. So okay, let me go and check who is that. Maybe some Mayavi person who is doing this thing. So he goes and he sees that there's a boy who's playing. That is exactly the same what he was doing at that time. That picture. So what he was doing, he was eating with his sakhi and sakhas mainly. Right. Someone bought the Srikhand. He was eating that. Someone bought buttermilk. So Krishna was drinking some buttermilk. Then someone did it. It came out of Krishna's mouth. Someone else is drinking that. Someone else is eating something. Like he's one of the Sakha and giving Krishna, see, this is eat, this is so tasty. And he was eating. He's like, who said this is God? He's doing all those kind of things. Even I never eat any kind of jutha, and he's doing this kind of thing, playing with uh, those lower creature like Manushya, lower creature from Brahmaji standard, right? How can he be God? No way. So then let me test him. He kidnaps all those boys. He kidnaps all those boys and he just put them in Brahmalok, making him yoga nidra for long sleep. Right. Now Krishna, he went for some time. How he could kidnap because he went out to Gaya Charana to what do we call it? This?
Herding cow.
Grazing the cows, herding the cows. He went for herding the cows, and when he came back, he saw where are his friends? They all are gone. So there's a beautiful episode in Little Krishna about that. David has shown me at least 10 times, or maybe more. Right. So when he came back, he saw everyone is gone. He started searching. Then he realized, oh, Brahma. Okay, okay. Then what he does? He makes all his expansions. And everyone looking exactly like those boys and all those cows. So not only boys, Brahmaji kidnaps all the cows also. And Bachade also. Right. So he made himself, expanded himself and all those boys and all those cows. And then what happens? In the evening, everyone went to their home. Now the mothers started getting more love for their child. Suddenly, they're like, how I'm getting more love for these kids? I never experienced that. 1 year passed like that. 1 year on Earth standard. Brahma said, 1 year is passed. What's happening? No one came to complain to anything or something like, let me go and check what is happening. When he came down and he saw all those boys are still there, he got bewildered. What? His mind was blown. What is happening here? I kidnapped all the boys. He sees there. They are all sleeping. Who are these? Right. Then he get the realization it is Krishna himself. He is the supreme Lord himself. And then he put down his like he does Dandavat and he start asking for forgiveness. The Lord Krishna says that. Once we discussed that also. You are Chaturmukhi Brahma. Even the Brahma having millions of it. So how the head of Brahma is defined? Bigger the universe, bigger the head. Think of it as a bigger your system, bigger your RAM, right? Computer system. So bigger the universe, bigger would more the number of heads Brahma would be having. So it says that even the Brahma with millions of heads cannot understand me, right? And you thought you know me. You don't know even 1% of me. 1% you know nothing. You're like you know nothing about me literally. What you think you know is literally nothing about me. Right. So his pride gets dismantled, and you see all those people like those are all then every those are all Brahmas actually. They're not Brahma. Then all those expansions they came to Vishnu form and they get into Krishna one by one. Right. So it's a beautiful story. So this point is why I put this picture only for that reason. That understanding Krishna, it's not easy. Even Lord Brahma, who is the creator of the world, God's one of the greatest devotee, he cannot understand God. So, and we think that we understand God. So, yeah. But slowly we have to try to understand our relationship with God. And what is our relationship with God? What is our relationship with Krishna? In one line, how we define? Who are we? Exactly, that's our, we are part and parcel of the Krishna, right? So that's what is written in Bhagavad Gita 15.7 also. The living entities are part and parcel of Krishna. Therefore, revival of Krishna consciousness by the individual living entity is the highest perfection stage of Vedic knowledge. Right, 15.7. Mamai Vanso Jivaloke Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. The living entities in the conditioned world are my eternal fragmental parts. That's what he says. That is our really real eternal relationship with Krishna and what we have to understand. Right. So revival of Krishna conscious activities, Krishna consciousness by the individual living entity is the highest perfectional stage of Vedic knowledge. So purpose of Veda is to know Krishna and revive our relationship with Krishna. That is the perfect stage. And that is the knowledge anyone should gain by reading all the Vedas. And that is self-realization. So, Srila Prabhupada further writes that one must be intelligent enough to understand the purpose of the Vedas without being attached to the rituals only. It is not possible for the common man in this age to follow all the rules and regulations of the Vedic rituals, nor it is possible to study all the Vedanta and Upanishads thoroughly. It requires much time, energy, knowledge, and resources. So, common man cannot read all those Upanishads, Vedas, and everything. So, it has more than 1 lakh verses. Think of the number of pages it can be. Many computer will be full just by having those verses in your computer. Right? 1 lakh verses. And then add on the translation and purport to it. All the best. Finishing this line. So that's how Srila Prabhupada said it is not possible. And even if someone can read most of it or many of it, it is just like I read one book, I do not understand anything. Understanding them will take even way 100 times more endeavor than just reading it. It takes more time. So, and we don't have time, energy, knowledge, and resources also to do that. So, Srila Prabhupada says that the purpose of the Vedic culture is served, however, by chanting of the holy name of the Lord, as recommended by Lord Chaitanya, the deliverer of the fallen souls. So, what is the best purpose of Vedic culture? To know Krishna. How we can know Krishna? How it can be served? By Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, by chanting. Right. Further, Srila Prabhupada writes, he gives one story of Prakasanand Saraswati. So Lord Chaitanya, when he was going in Varanasi, right, when he came to Varanasi after coming back from Vrindavan, first time also he went to Varanasi. Varanasi was full of hub of Mayavadi people. Mayavadi people are who? Who thinks Lord is a what? Non-form, impersonalist, right? God does not have any form. Those are Mayavadis, like Sunyavadi or Nirvisheswadi, Nirvishes Sunyavadi. Nirakar people are mostly Mayavadi, impersonalist. So Prakashanand Saraswati, he was the chief of all those Mayavadi people there. So when Lord Chaitanya was coming back from Varanasi, um, his disciple, he again requested, I think Tapan Misra, he again requested Tapan Misra or Chandrasekhar, I don't remember was that. So he again requested ki they are talking bad about you. Can you go and meet them? He decided, okay, probably this is the time to deliver all these people. He goes, they were all in the Dhyan Mudra thinking about the light. Light means for them, God is light. Thinking about the Brahma Jyoti. Right. And then when he went, Lord Chaitanya, he sat near where people wash their hand and leg. He sat there. Then suddenly they realized, okay, there is something, some more tej is here. Like you feel the energy, some more energy is coming. Then they opened eye and they saw that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ke sharir se some effulgence is coming. More aura, yeah, aura is there and some more energy is coming from his mouth. And there is someone, he's like someone very enlightened. He said, why are you sitting there? He comes and please come and sit with us. That's the story. Right. He said that, oh, I think I did not add the photo. Please come and sit with us. He said, no, 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 you are all so enlightened people. How can I sit with you? I'm very fallen person. So that is in that discussion, Prakashanand Saraswati asked them, ki, why he, who is a sannyasi, by that time Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was sannyasi, was chanting the holy name of the Lord like a sentimentalist instead of studying Vedanta philosophy. So Lord Chaitanya, he used to dance, do Harinam Sankirtan, and spread the Harinam. That was his daily routine. So he said that you are being so enlightened, you are being sannyasi. Why are you just dancing and taking the name of the Lord and just roaming here and there like a madman? You should study Vedanta, know that, and then get liberated. Have the Gyan. So actually, Mayavadi thinks that I had one encounter with one Mayavadi. That time was very new and I had zero idea about, but a very few idea about that. And he actually tried to convince me that this is all. When you get the Gyan, one time a level will come when you'll actually liberate it. I could not get how that will happen, but okay. His point was when you get the Gyan, you'll actually understand even Dhanur Vidya you can see, you can do by just reading itself. So, that was above my head, but I was very new. Right. So that's same thing what he was saying. The Lord replied that his spiritual master. So very very important lesson here. He says that why are you doing this mad activity like sentimentalist, like sentimentals do, keep crying and doing this पागलों की तरह. ठीक. Indirectly he said क्या पागलों वाले काम कर रहे हो? He said like that. He said that हाँ मतलब आई एम डूइंग दैट क्योंकि मेरे गुरु ने मुझे बोला था कि यू आर नॉट इंटेलिजेंट यू आर अ फूल सो यू कैन नॉट अंडरस्टैंड वेदा एंड ऑल द ओनली थिंग यू कैन डू इज I'll give you one mantra, Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Just go and do chanting because that is all you can do. You can't do any more than that. Maybe next life you will do something, but this life you can. Your level is only that. So because my guru has, so I do this. Very important lesson here. What? हाँ, जो हमारे गुरु का है वो हमारे अच्छाई के लिए कहता है वो हमें मानना ही है what else what else in that story what else do you see that also correct Harinam is for everyone okay but ऐसा वहां तो उन्होंने नहीं बोला यहाँ तो ये है कि because he was very less intelligent that's why it is told him to do Harinam that's what he told right he did not say it is for everyone he said that it is for less intelligent people only like me you who like Prakasa and Saraswati, like people who are very intelligent, they can do the Vedanta study and get liberated to the Brahma Jyoti. What's the lesson? हाँ मतलब उससे थोड़ा और सोचिए you are on the right path. Even though you are being provoked, he could have said anything. He is the Lord himself, right? He took the path of humility. Right. He did not counter it. He said, yes, 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 you are absolutely right. Right. But I am doing this because my guru said that. But you are right. What you are saying is absolutely correct. He took the path of humility, showing himself as a lower than those people. Even though he knew he is the God himself. But he showed himself कि हम मैं आपसे छोटा हूँ. हाँ, उनको नीचा नहीं दिखाया. That is one thing we should actually learn from that. कि उनको मतलब स्पेशली मैं अपने लिए भी वही बोलूंगा, ठीक है, कि we should not get into argument in a way कि हम दूसरे को नीचा दिखा, आप किसी को नीचा दिखा के ऊपर नहीं उठ सकते. ठीक, you cannot pull someone down to grow up. It may be, you may be, but it will be very limited. Or it will be relative only. Because the other person is down, you are looking up. But you are not, you are at the same level. Or maybe you are going down with that guy. Right. But you are not growing up. So, that is a very important lesson from that. Now, the highest Vedantist is the great soul who takes. Acha. The highest Vedantist is the great soul who takes pleasure in chanting the holy name of the Lord. That is the ultimate purpose of the Vedic mysticism. Right. So what happens later on in that story is, I think I got distracted with that story. Right. So what happens after that? Uh, Prakasan, the debate was going on. He started with a very humiliated position. Then they started discussing about that. Right. He listened, and then he countered their argument. Right. Like, he listened for a long time actually of their argument. And with just one point he countered. And they were all like floored. What? Right. And they all took his shelter. 60,000 of the Mayavadis immediately they took shelter of Lord Chaitanya. That is what is what it. Hmm. They can draw. Because that is incomplete knowledge. He started with that position, right? Because Harinam, I am less intelligent, this is for fool. But then they have to read the full story. Then he actually convinces every single one of them that Harinam is the ultimate purpose of the Vedanta. That's what written here. The highest Vedantist is the great soul who takes pleasure in chanting. He convinces every single one of them that this is what you have to do, and then they all took his shelter. So if someone reads only incomplete story, it is like the story of elephant. Elephant is like a soup. Elephant is like a barrel. Elephant is like a rope, like that. So if someone reads incomplete story, then they will think it is for the fool. Then actually it is not for the fool, they are fool. Right. Then they can go ahead and read all the Vedas, maybe in some life. If they complete it, they can come back and do the chanting. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. So now, huh. So here the word comes here like the best purpose. The best purpose of Vedanta philosophy is served by the inoffensively chanting the holy name of the Lord. Inoffensively chanting, very important line है. हाँ बोली मैं इसके बारे में. भगवान को जानो, भगवान का नाम भगवान से अलग नहीं है. वही वेदों का सार है. भगवान का नाम भगवान से अलग नहीं है. It is as equal, as potent as the God himself. We have to understand that. Right. So, what it says that, any other question? Okay? Inoffensively chanting. Right. So, anyone remember the 10 offenses? Hmm? याद है मतलब किसी को पता है what are the 10 offenses? In the अगर आपने कभी मंगला आरती में की है और you started your chanting session before that, then you have to read 10 offenses. Looks like a cult, but it is a reminder. Right. हाँ मतलब वो आप summary बता रहे हो, but 10 offenses says that like what all things we should be or conscious about when we start our chanting. And the root cause of all the 10 offenses are, what is the root cause? नहीं root cause मैं पूछ रहा हूँ. Why those offenses comes? It lists all the offenses. What are those offenses which happens during taking the chanting, doing the chanting. But the root cause is defined. What is the root cause? It comes at the end. No, it comes at the end of it. नहीं वो तो पहला है, वो सब बीच में आता है. लास्ट पॉइंट क्या है? द लास्ट पॉइंट वो भी आता है टुवर्ड्स द एंड, बट इट कम्स इन अटेंटिव चैंटिंग. याद है? द ऑफेंस, द 10th पॉइंट इज अनअटेंटिव चैंटिंग. नाम अपराध. आता पता नहीं एक्चुअली बहुत जगह वो नहीं लिखा रहता, बट the 10th one is inattentive chanting. The root cause of all is, or sometimes it is written after the 10th one, right? Sometimes अगर आप पूरा पढ़ोगे कभी, ठीक है, एक बार अभी नहीं बाद में देखेंगे, ठीक है, after that it is inattentive chanting. That is root cause of all. That's called नाम अपराध. नाम अपराध. नाम means name. Aparad means apa means taking away from someone, taking away from Radha. You are taking Krishna's name take away from Radha. That is Naam Aparadha. Right. That's why it's called in like the offensive offensiveness. Right. So it also shows that even devotional service can be done in the mode of ignorance, passion, and goodness. An example of devotional service in the mode of ignorance. But you are not doing that. बाद में कर लेंगे मतलब you are not doing that. सोते सोते हरि नाम ले रहे. हाँ, you are doing that. That's one example. What else? Hmm? These all are correct point. That's all. Uh, Sometimes like not about our devotional service, but just as a point. Sometimes people are so convinced that this is the only way. This is the only way that they don't think to. Only way means I'm not talking about Hari Naam here, right? But they think like my way is the only way, and they take a plane, hit a building, kill thousands of people just in the name of God, and get material benefits. Right? A lot of time that also happens. That is, they think that they are doing a devotional service for their faith. Obviously, they are convinced that that's why they are doing it. But that is ignorant. Right? If your devotional service is harming people, how can it be for the good? It can never be for the good. Right? You are killing people in the name of God, in the name of religion. It can never be a devotional service in a mode of goodness. Right? It is a mode of ignorance. Then devotional service in the mode of passion. An example. Fast fast करना. Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. जल्दी जल्दी करना. Get quick result. 1 hour, 20 minutes. I have to finish. What else? Devotional service आप लोग chanting पे रुके हुए. Devotional service does not just mean chanting. You can think. हाँ कि मैंने बड़ा अच्छा काम किया है. People should know me. Name, fame, मान, प्रतिष्ठा, सम्मान. Right? मैंने मंदिर में पंखा लगाया. पंखे पे मेरा नाम दिखना चाहिए. पंखा नहीं चलना चाहिए when 1,000 people are sitting. This fan should not run because how will people read my name? Right? Or my father's name. A lot of people. Prabhuji, I'm getting the brick for the temple. I have donated 1 lakh. Where my name will be shown? A lot of people ask that question actually. Where I can see my name on all the names I have written and my gotra, where I will show. It is already gone inside the book. Forget it. Or the next brick it will go under the feet of Radha Krishna. Do you want to see your name or you want Radha Krishna to see your name? You decide. You want people to see your name or Radha Krishna should take your name below their charan kamal. Right? If they have that kind of understanding, then probably they'll be Satya mode. But then, no, people should know I gave 1 lakh. People should know my name should be there. Right. There will be people who will be, they are already asking some people. Probably I don't know what is happening, maybe whatever it is, but yeah. So that is a mood of passion. I'm donating, my name should come up. Right? मेरे लिए हरि बोल तो होना ही चाहिए. प्रभु जी बहुत अच्छी क्लास दी. हरि बोल तूने क्या? कैसे ऐसे कैसे? माला नहीं पहना है क्लास में. Right? That is devotional service. They are doing devotional service, but in the mode of passion. Then there is devotional service in the mode of goodness. After, out of humility. I'm not talking about Suddha Sattva. What could be the example of in mode of goodness in Sattva?
सब ताकि सब खा सके थोड़ा ज्यादा या नहीं सफाई कर देता हूँ सब चीटिंग बैठ
That's what I know. हाँ, in good faith कि चलो मंदिर बन रहा है तो मैं भी कुछ सेवा कराता हूँ. Actually, मैं भी कुछ सेवा कराता हूँ, प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. That can be Suddha Sattva also. But if someone think मैं भी कुछ सेवा कराता हूँ ताकि लोग कहें कि चलो मैंने भी तो कुछ किया. और नॉट लोग भी कहें कि एटलीस्ट एक टिक मार्क मेरा हो गया, चलो फॉर द नेम ऑफ सेवा आई डिड समथिंग. इवन दो पीपल डोंट नो, एटलीस्ट आई डिड इट. But they don't think like it is not for my pleasure or it is not for my gain. It is for the pleasure of Krishna. If someone does it like I am doing it because I love Krishna, I am doing so that Krishna would be happy. I'm not doing it for my happiness. I'm doing it for his happiness. That becomes Suddha Sattva. So even devotional service is at 4 level.
अच्छे से करना है लेकिन कुछ
हाँ कि मैं केवल स्पेसिफिक ड्यूटीज ही करूंगा. आई विल नॉट टेक एनीथिंग एल्स. एग्जैक्टली. हाँ, लोगों को पता चले वाला पॉइंट आएगा ना तो फिर वो पैशन आ जाएगा. हाँ ठीक, लेकिन मैं अपना ही करूंगा, मुझे जितना करना है. ठीक, इट विल बी लाइक दैट. बट प्योर गुडनेस इज व्हेन दे आर डूइंग फॉर द कृष्णा प्लेजर, नॉट थिंकिंग अबाउट दैट. व्हिच मोड इज दिस? हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे राम. वेरी नाइस मैसेज. हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण प्रसाद. The message came me as a Krishna Prasad. Highest Patil.
इनकरेंट पावर जैसे कि अगर हमें मन नहीं भी लग रहा है पहले जैसे चीज गाय को टच करेंगे तो शौक लगेगी वैसे ही अगर हमें नहीं भी लग रहा है तो जानबूझ के ऐसा नहीं करना मन नहीं भी लग रहा है तो
तुम्हें करना है. Exactly. तुम्हें करना है. आपको अपनी प्रैक्टिस नहीं छोड़नी है. इनअटेंटिव हुआ तो we can never think that we are मतलब हम में से कोई करता भी नहीं, हम लोग सोच भी नहीं रहे कि we do that. But it is not, like I said previously, it is not easy thing to do. But it will come with the practice. तो आगे के चैप्टर में जब अर्जुन पूछेंगे कि कृष्णा यू आर सेइंग टू कंट्रोल योर माइंड एंड दिस एंड दैट, राइट, ऑल थिंग्स गुड, बट कंट्रोलिंग माइंड इज difficult, or even catching the wind is easier than the controlling the mind. How can is it be possible? He says that it's not easy thing. With practice only it will come. Yes, we do inattentive chanting. No doubt on that. Probably every single round, every single time we say Hare Krishna, it is inattentive. But then we have to continue our practice. Because with time, it will come up. If we leave anyway, it will not come up. Right. So we don't have to think that कि because we are doing inattentive, we should not do. No. Like बहुत लोग आपको कहेंगे अरे ऐसे माला करने का फायदा है कि उससे अच्छा मत ही करो. They will come and say that. ठीक. मत ही करो से तो अच्छा ये कुछ तो करो. Someone who is not like, who has not prepared anything in the exam, they say like, why should I go to exam? I have not read anything. Right. तो वही मैं आपको बोल रहा हूँ, मैं वही तो आपको, that's the point. कि why to go to exam when I have not prepared anything? At least when you go to the exam, what if the paper becomes very simple and you actually pass? और मे बी आपको 4 नंबर तो आएगा, 0 से तो अच्छा ही है. राइट. कोई ये तो नहीं कहेगा कि सो एग्जाम ही नहीं दिया. धीरे धीरे, because every single time you take name of Lord, it purifies, it kills the vikriti or the anartha in our heart. Right? Every single time. It is better than not taking the name. Yes, it may not develop the prem and bhav for the Lord because we are not at that stage. But at least it is killing all anartha. And until we have the anartha, we will never reach the stage of bhav, prem and all those stages. निष्ठा, भाव, प्रेम, वहां पहुंचेंगे ही नहीं जब तक अनर्था है. तो अनर्था भी तो खत्म करना है ना. Right. So, yes, prem is the highest goal, but it will not happen without killing another. So, every time we do that, it kills our anartha. Slowly, gradually, someday it will come, we'll get the rus in Harinam. So, same point, attentiveness brings attention. Attention gives the attraction. And when you are attracted, it gives the attachment with the Harinam. Right? And that's the formula of Harinam. Attentiveness, we try to be more attentive so that it will give us more attraction um, in gradual time, and then we'll develop the attachment gradually, right, slowly, one day. That's important to know. So, 5 minutes more, can I? Right. We'll finish this. So how to do attentive chanting now? Right. Important to know how to do. Like we talked about attentive chanting, this and that. Now how to do attentive chanting? What are the ways? So three ways. There are more ways, but at least three. You want to do attentive chanting, you have to do at the right time, the right environment, and know the purpose why you are doing this. It's not like चलो किसी ने बोल दिया चलो यार कर लेते हैं. You should know the purpose. Because unless you know the purpose, why would you work for it? Hmm. Yeah, if you know the purpose of say this medicine is very important, urgent for say my kid, right? And it is needed right now. You immediately leave everything, whatever meeting in the office would be. ठीक है, चाहे आपकी सीईओ के साथ मीटिंग हो, it is required you leave everything and you go and do this. You know the purpose. But you will think like अरे चलो ठीक है वो खा लेगा तो ठीक है like multivitamin. आज नहीं खाएगा कल खा लेगा क्या फर्क पड़ता है. राइट. चलो मतलब आई चैंटिंग नहीं करूंगा तो ठीक है मैं पूजा कर लूंगा घंटी बजा लूंगा क्या फर्क पड़ता है. When you don't understand the purpose behind it, you will not be able to do that. Right. So right time. What is the right time? When you have least mental traffic. Like we go to office, deciding the time so that we'll get the least traffic, taking the least congested path, seeing the Google Maps. That's how we should do the chanting also. At the time, at the moment when we have the least mental traffic. And when would that be? Early morning. It cannot be the end of the day. Because end of the day you have all the things from your morning, from your kids' school, from your office, from evening walk, and then many to-do list for tomorrow. Right. So that's the most mental traffic you get at the evening. So try to do as many rounds possible in the morning, right time. That's when you can get attentive chanting. Right environment. Not somewhere train चल रही उधर भो उधर कुछ कुत्ते नाच रहे हैं ठीक है भाव 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 हो रहा है and whatever is happening every day Hare Krishna Hare I'm transcendental to all those things right thinking that I'm supreme transcendental person. फाइंड राइट एनवायरनमेंट जहां शांति हो कोई डिस्टर्ब करने. अरे प्रभु जी इतने सालों बाद कहाँ थे. हो गई चैंटिंग. ठीक. यू कैन डू ग्रुप चैंटिंग विद अ ग्रुप हु इज नॉट डिस्टर्बिंग. नॉट विद अ ग्रुप की हु एक राउंड हो गया चलो 5 मिनट बात कर लेते हैं फिर दूसरा राउंड शुरू करेंगे. सो राइट एनवायरनमेंट ऑल्सो एंड देन अंडरस्टैंड व्हाई वी आर डूइंग दिस एंड हाउ वी कैन अंडरस्टैंड द पर्पस. There are a lot of read articles why Harinam is why Hare Naam है केवल. Right. There are so many books, there are so many articles, innumerable acharyas have told about this, why it is important. Right. Like Japa, Reform, Naam Rahasya, a lot of chant and be happy. Right. Chanting Hare Krishna. These are all books which tells you what is the purpose. And yesterday, or I don't know when I was reading this, right. There's a verse comes in, I think yeah, I'm very Prabhu's lecture I was listening. I think the verse comes in somewhere which says that all the Puranas, all the Vedas, okay, uh, Mahabharat, everything he told, all the scripture in the end teaches that Harinam is the only way. Right. That is the glories of Harinam. Right. Even in Srimad Bhagavatam, in 3.33.7, it comes. Oh, how glorious are they, those whose tongues are chanting your holy name. Even if born in the families of dog eaters, such persons are worshipable. Persons who chant the holy name of the Lordship must have executed all kinds of austerities and fire sacrifices and achieved all the good manners of the Aryans. To be chanting the holy name of your Lordship, they must have bathed at the holy places of pilgrimage, studied the Vedas, and fulfilled everything required. By doing just chanting, it is as equal as bathing all the holy places, worshipped, fulfilled all the requirement, studied all the Vedas, just by doing the chanting. This is the glory of chanting, right? We need to know the purpose, how glorious it is. Just by doing the taking the Lord's name, it means we have completed all the austerities, we have done all the yajna and all. That is the supreme yajna, right? But we don't know, we don't even if we read all the theory, we'll not we're like ha, ठीक है पढ़ लिया हो गया, right? When we actually start understanding the purpose of it, what it does, we'll do attentive chants. So that's very important because in the end, what is the essence of all the Vedas? Apurva? Yeah. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram. So chant Hare Krishna and be happy. That is the essence. Right? Any questions? I know I took longer class today. ठीक है. बाकी तो नहीं होते. That's okay. I know I took lot of time. Very sorry for that. If no question, we'll wrap up. Panchakam Kripa Sindhu Patana, Pavane Vishnu, Ramana, the good investment, he just said about Bhatt, he then died of Prima the Fair.